Today we are going to be using the percent equation to find a whole if we are given a part and a percent. So remember, the percent equation simply is part equals percent times whole. So here I have 40% of what number is 80? Well, if I plug it into that percent equation, anything that follows the word of is my whole. And notice it says what number. I don't know what my whole is. So therefore, I know that I'm going to replace my whole with a variable. Doesn't matter which variable you choose, I just happen to choose x. So when I look at the 40%, well, that's given. That is my percent, but I can never calculate in percent form. So what I need to do is change that 40% into a decimal, because with decimals, I can do calculations. So remember, you're going to drop that percent symbol, and you're going to replace it with a decimal point, and you're going to move it 2 places to the left in order to get the decimal of 0.40. So anything that follows is my part. So I know that 80 has to be my part. So the key is you just have to fill in the numbers into your percent equation. Now it's time for me to solve. Well, I know that 40 hundredths times x is 40 hundredths x. So I just put those together with 40 hundredths as the coefficient. My 80 remains on my 80. And now I just have an equation I need to solve. So in order to get x by itself, I need to divide by 0.40. I got to divide that decimal out. And when you divide by a decimal, your number gets bigger. If I do it on one side, I have to do it on the other side. So 80 divided by 40 hundredths. Now, when we go to divide that, remember the 80 is going to go on the inside of the division symbol. The 40 hundredths is going to go on the outside. But we cannot divide if we have a decimal on the outside. So first what we need to do is move that decimal point 2 places to the right by multiplying it by 100. But if I multiply by 100 on the outside, I have to multiply by 100 on the inside, which means I'm moving that decimal point 2 places to the right. Now I had to annex zeros because I only had 80 there. Perfectly fine. You can keep annexing zeros. As soon as I move it the same number of positions on the inside as I did the outside, then I can place my decimal point, and then we're simply dividing. So 40 can go into 80 twice, because 2 times 40 is 80. We subtract and we get 0. But notice we still have 2 place value positions to the right of the 2. We have to fill those in, so I'm not done dividing. So even though I'm left with 0, I'm going to pull down this 0, and I just started again. How many times does 40 go into 0? Well, 0 times. So 0 times 40 is 0. We subtract it, and we have one more 0 to go. So I'm going to pull that 0 down. How many times does 40 go into 0? 0. The biggest mistake kids will make is they'll put the 2 there, and then they won't fill in the extra zeros up to the decimal point. You have to do that. Now, because I was finding my whole, I expected my answer to get larger, and that's exactly what it did. So when I come back to the original problem, 40% of what number is 80? It's actually 40% of 200 is 80. So that's all there is. Just use your percent equation. It works every time. You can find the part, you can find the percent, and you can find the whole using that one equation. Good luck. It's all up to you. Have some fun.